You been playing?
Just like I said, Cyberpunk 2077. I've done a few side missions in that game. Again, a couple more, and I had one that was really strange. And I started like capturing some videos, so maybe I can put it up on the YouTube channel rather, where like things don't quite do what you expect them to do. Like, so like I mentioned before, like the map. So like the map in Cyberpunk is really big, just like the map in Witcher, except a little smaller, but it's more verticality. It's got more. And on a side note, if you've ever driven through Pittsburgh and you hate driving through Pittsburgh, it's exactly what driving in Night City feels like, because they have these winding bridges and one-way roads, and like they all lead to different objectives. And if you miss one, you have to drive like the whole way around the city to get back to where you want, unless you want to break like traffic rules and just circle around. It's really frustrating. But I understand, like I almost think that they probably looked at traffic in Pittsburgh and learned from that, because Pittsburgh, if you've ever been there, like there's all this water, there's all these different bridges, and the entire transportation of Pittsburgh is just crazy. And the people that I know, my friends who live there, just say, "Oh, it's nothing. It's not a big. You get used to it." But I've been to so many big cities on tour and stuff, and Pittsburgh is my least favorite to drive around, like 100%. And it's like driving around in Night City and Cyberpunk feels like you're driving around in Pittsburgh. But back to the story, anyways. So it's like one of these things where the map zooms out, and I talked about it briefly in the last episode, where it gives you like an exclamation mark, and you just don't know what you're going to find there. But what it turns out there are fixers in the game, and the fixers are people that will call you up every once in a while, and they say, "Hey, by the way, there's this guy, there's a job. I need you to do this or that." But all these side jobs that these fixers give you display on the map as exclamation marks. So you can just go to these exclamation marks to trigger the events, right? To trigger the phone call. So when you roll up, and I don't know if this is a bug or if this is the way it's supposed to work, but when you roll up to one of these exclamation marks, you can see like maybe what the enemies are outside loitering, hanging out, and you're like, I don't want to get out of the car, because as soon as I get out of the car, they're going to attack me, or I'm going to make myself known if I'm trying to go in stealth. But you have to get close enough to trigger the phone call, but the phone call from the fixer never happens if you're in your car. You literally have to drive up to the waypoint. They won't call you while you're in the car. You have to step out of the car, and your phone will miraculously ring every time. And then you have to like get back in the car. You don't have to, but it seems like that's what you should be doing, and then they get on the phone like, "Hey, by the way, there's this guy in, I don't know." It's just so weird that like I feel like the vehicles in this game have been weren't really developed. The game wasn't developed, I don't think, with vehicles in mind. I feel like there was a push at one point in this game for the vehicle travel to be user. I think maybe because The Witcher, like you're on a horse, right? And the UI for Cyberpunk is essentially the exact same UI for The Witcher. So it's clunky feeling. It feels a little outdated. There are fast travel points in this game. You can't just fast travel anywhere. And the map's big enough that you want to fast travel, but in order to do it, you have to go find like a subway, like a bus stop, and then you get to the bus stop, and then you can pick another bus stop. They are conveniently placed, I'll say that. But back to the side mission, I found the side mission, and it was this guy, and he had kind of like what do you call those things? He's like a vendor, like a hot dog vendor, a noodle vendor or something. And you go and you order some noodles from him or whatever you order from him, and he goes, "Hey, you look like a badass. I've got a problem. These kids have been messing with me or whatever, and I'm having a trouble with them. You want to help me out?" And the option to say yes or no. So I said, "Yeah, I'll help you out." And then you follow him, and there's like two guys trying to steal his motorcycle, and he's like talking shit on him. They're like, "Well, yeah, we're pissed at you too, yada yada yada." And then you have a choice to do what you want to do, and I had a choice to take these dudes out, right? So I said, "Okay, I'll just take these guys out." I took them out. But then the NPC guy that gave me the mission just disappears. Like, I don't know if they killed him or if he ran away, but like, and then it was like mission accomplished, but I got nothing out of it, like nothing. So it just sounds like it's a bug, but I don't know if that's the way it was designed. Maybe he did die, and if how to let him live, like, I don't know. It was just confusing. So I'm having a lot of instances like this in the game where I'm just kind of like, I like the game. Don't get me wrong. There's a great game in here somewhere, but it's still, the more I play these other games like Destiny 2 and Spider-Man Miles Morales, the bugginess and the glitchiness, and like it does have like the Fallout syndrome of, it feels like you have to extend your imagination a little bit more to believe the world you're in. And it's weird because with the next gen, I'm not playing the next gen game, but it's just weird because I didn't want that to be the case. You know, like in Fallout, like there are just weird things that happen, like glitches, like you kill a guy and like he's half in and out of a building, like his limbs are like, you know what I mean, like weird like layer popping and stuff. Like this happens in this game a lot, and I hope that it's stuff that CD Projekt Red can resolve.